What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ring the Bell in Your House. My house. This is my house. My name's Joey. I'm your dad, bod demigod, and joining me, as always, is
the interdimensional Shirai, Moxie, Molly, and who is our tantalizing guest today? Oh, that's just DS.
Wow, thanks for the warm welcome.
To my house.
Let's play that music to that.
Anyway, let's get to the review.
Let's jump into the opening match, because it was a 6-woman tag team match with Mia, Tegan Nox, and Shotzi Blackheart going against Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Candice LeRae, who looked a lot like one of those old 90s Sky Dancer toys, and I dug it.
Wait, what? What is that?
It's a little Barbie, and like you put its feet into a thing and pull it, and it would spin.
I liked Candice's look.
I always kind of understood where she was trying to go, but I feel like they finally went there.
You know, my favorite heel turn from Disney movie is Tinkerbell turning heel. It reminded me of that moment.
A Tinkerbell heel turn is pretty much the most accurate way to...
Tinkerbell turned heel. I think that Peter Pan had it coming to him, so I resent that comment.
I also love the other team is literally RGB, their hair color.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to say, before we get to reviewing the match, I do want to say, Tegan Nox, I swear they watched our review channel because we were like, there's nothing about Kane we see when they call her Lady Kane. And then, bah, she's got flames on her gear.
She does have flames on her gear, and she had metal. She kind of looked like her gear was Captain Marvel's version of Kane's car from WWE Crush Hour.
I'm telling you, they must watch it and know that we were like, she does not look like Lady Kane. And now they're like, we gotta make her look like Lady Kane.
But does she look like Lady Kane?
But I mean, if all it means to be Lady Kane is doing a choke slam, that's still not being Lady Kane. That's just doing a choke slam. I like the match a lot. Raquel Gonzalez is just a beast of a human. Like, she was tossing people around, and she does it with ease, and she's hands down like my standout from this match.
I like how several different times she caught her opponents midair, especially the one on the outside of the apron. Also, while we're on Raquel, thank you, Beth Phoenix, for saying she was serving China vibes.
Oh yeah, I totally felt that. Yeah. Did you like the dive after dive after dive spot?
Sure. I mean, for what it is now, because it seems like with AEW and NXT, they're both just doing dive after dive after dive. So it's kind of like, okay, we've seen this spot, but it was fun.
I'm glad you said that, Joey, because my comment was going to be, I thought to myself, am I watching AEW? And then I was like, no, wait, it's NXT.
By the way, the other thing I wanted to mention, like right when the match started, all the crowd started chanting, "This is awesome." And I was like, nothing
They
even
haven't
happened.
seen shit yet.
I mean, it all seems a little fishy, so I'm going to go ahead and call it Conspirator.
What I really liked about this match is that there were a lot of really cool tag moves. Shotzi did that really cool sliced bread.
That was really cool. And she sold it really well, too, because it didn't just look like they were guiding her over. It looked like she forced Raquel back, and that was pretty sweet.
I was going to say how you said Raquel was your standout. I was going to say, I would say Raquel is even with Shotzi for me. I'm not going to say they made the match, but...
I mean, if you think about it, too, like the past couple matches they've been in together, we've said Shotzi and Raquel make this match. It's never been anybody else. Those two are on fire.
I thought this match was a pretty fun match. Really good start of a pay-per-view. But then I was thinking, like, nobody really stood out for me other than Tegan, because they gave Tegan like really good spots after spots. She won the match, and she did that last dive, so she got all the good spots, booking-wise. But the thing is, she didn't really stand out for me. So I didn't feel like anyone individually stood out, but I think what I saw was some really nice tag team chemistry going on.
I totally feel what you're saying now that you like edited how you said it. Because she wasn't a standout, but you're right. They gave her the good moves, and then she kind of, never mind, I'm not going to finish my sentence.
Wait, so what did you think of Tegan picking up the win?
Cool, great.
Yeah,
I think it would have been more successful if they gave it to Shotzi. Honestly, she's got more momentum behind her than Tegan does at this point.
I get it. It's because Tegan covered Dakota Kai, and like that was that storyline, getting back at her.
Isn't that storyline long over though? Is it not time to bury it?
All they did was show that Tegan needs tag partners to get over on Dakota Kai. Like, they showed that Tegan needs someone to wear down Dakota Kai before she can pin her. So, like,
I liked it. I thought this was a nice final ending of that little feud going on between them. I am ready for them to kind of transition into the more of a tag storyline, which I'm really excited about because if you remember, Sasha and Bayley just won tag team championship. When they first won it, they came all the way to NXT. They were like, we're gonna defend it here. They never did because they lost. And what we know is that they were very excited about defending the championship in NXT. So now that they have it for a little bit until they eventually split up, they might be having a match with Tegan and Shotzi. That would be a really good match.
I want Dakota and Raquel so bad to be tag team champions.
I want Dakota and Raquel to be a tag team, yes. But also, right now, I think Raquel could be a singles competitor. Like, she's so amazing. She doesn't need to be in a tag team. I just don't want them to keep her in that position for so long that you kind of almost typecast her. Like, that's what she needs to be.
I can agree to that because she could get stuck in the same role we've seen Tamina in, where Tamina's just been the powerhouse.
Also, let's not forget about my Korean sister, Mia Yim. Say it, Moxie.
Listen, when Joey was naming off who was in the match and he said Mia, I was like, isn't it Maya? Shut up, Caitlin.
Actually, I don't really remember much about Mia, to be honest.
I feel like they were building to it being an intergender tag match, and like that almost like use this moment for that instead. Like, I want to see Mia get over on Candice in like an intergender, not in a 6-woman.
I still think it was kind of funny that they literally disappeared into the nothingness.
They probably went to wherever Dexter Lumis took the Undisputed Era.
Okay, he is like low-key hot.
Oh, let's don't even start. Yes, he is.
The way he like puts his glove on like reminds me of some of the things I've seen in some dungeons. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Ooh.
Anyway, let's please talk about my crush winning the damn title.
Io Shirai?
Yeah!
Okay.
Oh, I was like, what belt did Austin Theory win?
No, Io has been my number one crush in WWE for a while, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Please don't murder me. I think she might be one of the best female wrestlers. The best female wrestler in the world.
Oh,
Ooh,
no, I agree.
She's right up there. There's a couple like people especially in the women's division who have gotten up to that upper echelon as far as being like top tier contenders.
Alexa Bliss, Joey? Alexa Bliss?
It's not Alexa Bliss. Do not come at me just because I love her. It's not Alexa. In her mind and my mind, it should be. Io Shirai, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and then right now there's a bunch of people trying to get up in there and claw their way in there, but right now those three are top echelon to me.
I don't know if I share the same list. Let's talk about this match. Oh my god, did you guys like Rhea's look?
What was different from the rest of Rhea's looks?
Different color boots.
Yeah, the two different color boots, which I think one was maybe just her WrestleMania boot.
It matched her eyeballs.
Got it.
Did that like in unison and the same.
Yeah.
I was living for it. I really liked it when during a match they did a little like big zoom into her eyes, and I was like, okay, I do like it.
Did you notice in the middle of the match she lost one of her contacts?
She did?
Right towards the end of the match, they got close and like one eye was out, like, and it was her regular eye, and the other one was.
Wait, no, she only had one in there, like the boots. Like the one of the boots was white, and one of the eyeballs were white.
I didn't know that.
It's called matchy matchy, Moxie.
Mixed match.
What stood out for you in this match?
Io diving off top of the house.
Oh my
No.
god.
Oh, I can't even.
No, I totally feel you.
There's no words for it. I just didn't see it coming. I don't know why. I didn't even think of someone even diving off the set in this one. It just, especially when all of a sudden those two spotlights just went like right on top of her, and then everyone went, oh! It was great.
Io was literal joy in this match. There were so many points in this match that I was just smiling ear to ear. There are times that wrestling gives me like real joy, and this is Io Shirai. Io Shirai just gets me all the time. I was screaming. It was 2 a.m. Damn, I love it.
I love everything about Io's just charisma, how she's such a badass while not being a typical badass, which is a lot of fun. I don't know why. Maybe it's just my lack of faith in booking nowadays. I didn't see her coming out of this with the championship. So as soon as she come off the top rope with that moonsault, I was like, screamed, life was over.
Also, just that finish, not just the fact that Io won, but just that finish was like, oh my god, that is so creative.
Yeah.
Who is in Gorilla? You guys are amore.
Yeah, I know that people are sick and tired of Charlotte, but I will have to talk about, she really understands her finisher so well, so it is both her greatest weapon, but also her biggest weakness. She already lost to Rhea Ripley a long time ago around Survivor Series time because of her finisher. And she's repeating that because she was having that finisher in, she couldn't break the pin. That was her biggest weakness. And the way that Io just like moonsault right into Rhea's face.
She hits the moonsault so perfectly every single time. It's just, God, it's impressive. The thing about Charlotte is like, even when you watch it and you're like, God, another freaking Charlotte Flair match, none of them are bad. Like, Charlotte's just such a good performer that she can get stuck in there night in and night out. And I know I'm going to get a good match regardless.
Oh, you know the other thing I really loved about Charlotte in this match? So I think Io and Rhea was like fighting in the ring or something, and then in the back you see Charlotte just have a huge candle coming out of there, like some big sausage popping out of there. She's like, I got this, and I'm gonna beat you with this. It was so great. It was some DDE moment.
You guys, just imagine it actually being a sausage and now her beating them with it. It just makes it so much better.
This match really did anything for Rhea Ripley. I think it did more for Charlotte losing the title and then moving on, and then Io coming up the ranks.
I think it sets up Rhea chasing the title from Io.
You know, I think Rhea had some cool moments. Like, she did that top rope riptide, right? That's the move that she won the title from Shayna. So I think there were legit moments, but mostly for Charlotte, that I actually thought she was going to win.
Yeah, I mean, I full on expected her to win, no doubt. I expected her to keep the belt and some storyline last into the next takeover where someone out of the blue finally beats her. But no, I think they cut it off right where they needed to.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So what do we think of Charlotte's NXT Women's title run? Do you think it did what it was supposed to do?
If it's supposed to elevate the championship, maybe not so much, because I mean, Charlotte had good matches during the belt. I mean, during her reign, but they were never anything that was like, oh, 5-star, like her and Sasha, her and Becky type matches. It was just kind of blow off, or they all ended in either like DQs or countouts or something like that. She put a lot of a good spotlight on the championship, but I don't think she really enhanced the title.
Although if it were just Rhea and Io, it still would have been a really great match. I think people would have cared a little bit less if it was just Rhea and Io. So I think in that way, the fact that Charlotte was the, sitting champion, the one holding it, I think that made this match more exciting. So in that aspect, I do think it was very good choice to have her hold it and, do all of this. But ultimately, even though I didn't like her coming back to NXT for a bit, I think it actually gave us a little refresher, and it almost gave them time to let other women start to establish themselves, but also keep the belt relevant. Because if they gave it to someone who wouldn't keep it relevant, we wouldn't care right now.
I feel a little kind of like, oh, she lost it already. I thought she would be the big bad Ding Dong the Witch's dad reign of terror there, but she didn't really do that.
I mean, Charlotte's not going to have the belt for too long because they're working their way up to 16.
All right. You're right. You're very correct. You're very correct. But I'm so happy for Io.
Oh, yes. Yeah, most definitely. We should point out that at this moment, all of the mainstream female titles that are on television, but they're all held by women of color. The world's current climate aside, that is just a testament of where the women's revolution is going. DS and I had to talk about this because we were somewhat disheartened about everything going on in women's wrestling. We have to remember that the women's revolution or evolution, whatever you want to call it, it's not over. I don't even think it's peaked yet. And so this is a very high point on that.
But you know what I really like about this whole situation? This is not diversity for the sake of diversity. We can all agree that champions right now are all top performers of each brand. They are there for a reason, and there is no doubt that they are because of like, you know what I mean? Like, for the longest time, the women's revolution was a big push from WWE, and I will say they definitely needed it. But right now, it's going so organic. There's no sense that WWE is like pushing it down our throat. It's so organic, and I do love that.
Well, it's the new normal, which is really great because, you know, it used to be every single match that we're having that was, you know, the main event or the first big time, and everything was a first and a big step and a monumental thing. And we're slowly but surely transitioning into the fact where this is just how it is. And we're finally getting to be like, oh, okay, this is what equality is going to look like as we keep going. It's no longer just this monumental step thing. It's, okay, this is just going to be how it is. And I think that's great.
Did we love the streamer?
Oh, the streamers at the end.
They didn't get it on camera.
Yeah, I know. And they were even like, oh, such an, you know, ode to Japan or blah, blah, blah. Which, first of all, I want to say it's really like having the fans behind the plexiglass adds a new element because now they're like making this even deeper bellowing sound hitting against the glass. Yeah. But if we're going to go through all of the effort of having them behind glass, why are we going to let them throw streamers?
That we don't know who threw the streamers because they went to a cut. Maybe they did. That whole thing was like a freaking TikTok brush video. All of a sudden, Io's the champion. It goes dark. It comes back, and there's streamers everywhere.
I loved it. I was tearing up. It was beautiful.
I know. It was great. It was just kind of like, oh, I just wish I could have saw the streamers go on.
So that is our review of NXT TakeOver in your house.
Boom, boom.
I hope this is back. I hope this unique design for pay-per-view is back.
Even NXT's little makeshift performance center garage looks better than my house. So, you know. Hey, Moxie.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, DS. Where can people find you?
You can find me at DSShit and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter, and come back this weekend for a big interview with Crystal Marshall, because you are feeling me.
You're feeling me the way you looking at me.
Sometimes you do have to shut the f*** up. Why are they giving me this song? I used to hate it. Shin Soriano, he is freaking fabulous.
Yeah.
What the women wanted at that time was the ability to be their very best version of themselves.
I think this was one of my more intense interviews. We get really deep into the Diva era and what was going on backstage in SmackDown. And that was like the start of the Diva era when the Diva Search Girl kind of replaced a lot of veterans. So it'll be an interesting time and you'll learn a lot about what was going on.
Well, I can't wait to see that. That sounds great. You can find me at Joey_Mayberry on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. You can also check out my YouTube channel and my show Tops and Bottoms every Sunday.
You can find me across all social media platforms at that's THEE, Moxie Molly, and please be a kindred spirit, and don't forget to ring the bell below to get updates on all of our newest content, interviews, and reviews. And while you're at it, please give our little Teespring a little looky-loo. And don't forget, we also have a Patreon.
All right, thank you everyone, and see you very soon.
In your house.